I've had a secret pen pal since middle school. We shared everything, except our names. One day, we'll meet, he promised. Then, on the first day of senior year, I found a letter in my locker that said, "I'm closer than you think." My heart pounded as I looked around, and locked eyes with the bad boy who had never spoken to me before. He smirked, holding up a familiar envelope. "Surprise," he said. "Did you miss me?" I was 13 when it started. 8th grade. I went to Lincoln Middle School in Boise, Idaho. Nothing special. I was just another quiet, kind of awkward kid who mostly kept to herself. I had friends, but I didn't stand out. I wasn't unpopular, just invisible most of the time. One day in early September, I found a letter in my locker. It wasn't in an envelope, just folded neatly. The front said, in small, neat handwriting, "To you. If you're curious, read this. If not, throw it away." I remember holding it like it was something fragile. I opened it right there, heart racing. Inside, it said, "Hi. I know this is weird. But I thought it might be nice to write to someone. No names, no pictures, no details. Just thoughts. We can be pen pals. Old school style. If you want to write back, put your letter in locker 143. Just leave it in there. I'll check." I didn't know what to think at first. It felt weird, but kind of exciting. Like something out of a movie. I didn't throw it away. I waited a few days before writing back. I wrote something short, just asking who they were and why they picked me. I didn't sign it. I folded it, slipped it into locker 143 after school, and ran out before anyone saw me. The next day, another letter was in my locker. This went on for weeks. Then months. Then years. We made rules early on. No names. No talking in person. No identifying anything. Just writing. Pure honesty. And it worked. I told him things I never said out loud to anyone. He told me about his fears, his dreams, how his dad wasn't around much, how his mom worked nights and he felt lonely. He loved music. He hated math. He was funny, sarcastic, smart. We never broke the rules. Not once. I know how it sounds. But I did. I started daydreaming about him. Wondering who he was. Watching the halls during passing period, looking at every boy and thinking maybe it's him. He once wrote, "One day, we'll meet. I promise. But not yet." That line stuck with me. I kept the letters in a shoebox under my bed. Hundreds of them. His handwriting became familiar. I could pick it out instantly. By sophomore year, I stopped caring about real guys. I had this connection no one else could compete with. It was the first day of senior year. My schedule was a mess. I got lost twice. I was sweaty, annoyed, and late to third period. I went to my locker after lunch and saw it immediately, folded perfectly, same handwriting. My hand shook when I opened it. "I'm closer than you think." That was it. No locker number. No instructions. Just that sentence. I froze. Then I looked around. Instinct, I guess. And that's when I saw him. Jake. Jake freaking Lyle. He was leaning against the wall by the science wing. Leather jacket. Tattoo half visible on his forearm. Messy black hair. Smirking. Jake was trouble. Everyone knew it. He'd been suspended twice, once for fighting, once for skipping too much. He didn't talk to anyone unless he had to. We'd never had a single conversation. He was holding something in his hand. He lifted it slowly. It was an envelope. My envelope. I just stood there, frozen. And then he said, "Surprise. Did you miss me?" My heart nearly stopped. I confronted him right there. I asked how he knew. how long he'd known it was me. He just shrugged and said, "Long enough." I didn't know whether to punch him or run. Instead, we sat on the steps behind the gym, and he told me everything. He said he had recognized my handwriting years ago, from a shared English class in middle school. He was bored one day and wrote that first letter, just to see what would happen. He never thought I'd actually write back. But I did. And then it became a thing. Something he looked forward to. Something real. "I didn't think you'd like me if you knew who I was," he said. I didn't know what to say. I went home and cried. Not because I was mad, but because I didn't know what to feel. Was I supposed to be happy it was him? Was I supposed to be mad he lied? Was this some joke? Despite everything, I kept talking to Jake. We started sitting together at lunch. People stared. Whispers started. But I didn't care. Because underneath all the crap, he was him. My pen pal. And he was different with me. Softer. Real. We kissed for the first time 2 weeks after school started. I still remember how scared I was. And how right it felt. But then, things started feeling off. It happened during winter break. We were at his place. His mom was working late. He was showing me an old notebook of his, doodles, random quotes, some poetry. I flipped a page and saw handwriting that didn't match his. It was the same style from the letters. The exact same. "Whose writing is this?" I asked. Jake froze. "That's just some stuff my cousin wrote," he said quickly, reaching for the notebook. Something twisted in my stomach. I took the notebook home. And I started comparing letters. And what I found made me sick. The early letters, the ones from 8th grade, 9th grade, even part of sophomore year, weren't Jake's handwriting at all. They were his cousin's. I didn't sleep that night. I laid out all the old letters. One by one. I had them organized by date. And now, suddenly, I could see it clearly. The shift. From 8th grade until halfway through sophomore year, it was one person's handwriting. Then it changed. Slightly, but enough. I never noticed it before. The tone was different too. The words sharper. Less soft. How could I have been so stupid? The next day, I confronted Jake. I didn't ask politely. I showed him the notebook, the letters, and demanded the truth. He didn't deny it. He just said, "It was me after sophomore year." But before that? Yeah, that was Mark. My cousin. I felt like the floor dropped out from under me. Jake told me the full story. Or at least, what he claimed was the full story. He said Mark started the pen pal thing. He had used Jake's locker as a drop point without Jake knowing at first. But when Jake found out, he got curious and read one of the letters. He saw my reply. And kept reading them. All of them. Then one day, Mark stopped writing. So Jake picked it up. "I didn't want it to end," he said. "I knew it was wrong, but I liked you. I already felt like I knew you. And you liked him, but you didn't even know it wasn't the same guy anymore." He laughed a little, bitter. And I hated that. I just sat there. Staring. He stole someone else's connection with me. And I fell for it. For him. That was my next question. Jake's face changed. Tightened. He looked away. He moved, Jake said. Left for his dad's place in Montana. Family stuff. We didn't talk for a while. But something felt wrong about it. Like there was more. Later that week, I got my answer. From Mark himself. I found it in my bag. Slipped into the back pocket of my notebook. The handwriting was familiar. Too familiar. My heart stopped as I opened it. I didn't stop writing because I wanted to. He made me. "I'm sorry. I stared at the letter for a long time. I hadn't seen Mark in over a year. He used to go to the same school, one grade ahead of us. Quiet kid. Kept to himself. Then one day he was gone. Everyone said he transferred out. That was it. But now I knew, Jake had something to do with it. I stormed into Jake's house after school. His mom wasn't home. I slammed the letter down in front of him. What the hell did you do? Jake didn't even pretend. I told him to stop, he said. I told him if he didn't, I'd show everyone his letters. The things he wrote. You blackmailed him? He shrugged. You were already falling for me. Why should he get to hide behind a fake name and take credit for everything? He never had the guts to talk to you in real life. You're disgusting, I said. Then why are you still here? He shot back. That stopped me. Why was I still there? Because part of me still cared. And I hated myself for it. I reached out to Mark. Took me 2 weeks to track him down on Facebook. He agreed to talk. We met at a coffee shop in Meridian. He looked older. Tired. But his eyes lit up when he saw me. I thought about you every day, he said quietly. I didn't cry until he handed me a small box. Inside were his copies of the letters. All of them. He'd kept them, just like I had. We compared them side by side. They matched. Perfectly. And then he said something that made my blood run cold. Jake didn't just read them. He used them. Word for word. Some of the things he said to you were mine. I couldn't sleep for days. I stopped seeing Jake. He called, texted, left notes at my house. I ignored all of it. But he didn't stop. And then one night, he showed up outside my window. He looked awful. Drunk maybe. His voice cracked when he said my name. I need you, he said. You're the only good thing I have. But I didn't let him in. He pounded on the glass. Yelled that I was choosing a coward over him. That I'd regret this. My dad came out and threatened to call the cops. Jake disappeared into the night. Rumors started at school. People asked why I wasn't with Jake anymore. Someone saw me with Mark at the coffee shop. I kept quiet. But Jake didn't. He told people I cheated on him. Said I was playing both sides. I became that girl. Some people stopped talking to me. Others gave me weird looks in the halls. And the worst part? I still didn't know what I felt. I hated Jake. But I missed the version of him I thought was real. And with Mark, everything felt too fragile. Like if I touched it, it might break. After the rumor started, I stopped eating lunch in the cafeteria. I hid out in the library, headphones in, head down. I just wanted the days to pass. Mark and I kept texting. We hadn't seen each other since that day at the coffee shop. I think we were both afraid of messing things up. Then, in early February, something happened that changed everything. I got another letter. But this time, it wasn't in my locker. Or my notebook. It was in my mailbox at home. The letter was in the same style. Folded neatly. No return address. Just one line on the front, you don't know the whole story. Inside, it said, Jake's not who you think he is. And neither is Mark. My stomach turned. I read it over and over. There was no signature. No clues. I thought maybe Jake was trying to manipulate me again. But the handwriting was completely different. Not his. Not Mark's. Someone else. Someone who knew what was going on. I showed the letter to Mark. He went pale. We met again, same coffee shop. Mark looked nervous. I didn't want to tell you this, he said, voice shaking. But, there's more to the story. I leaned back. Okay. Start talking. He told me that the pen pal idea wasn't originally his. It was Jake's. Back in 8th grade, Jake was the one who came up with it. He thought it would be funny to mess with someone anonymously. Mark agreed to do the writing because he was good with words. He picked you, Mark said. From the start. Jake picked you. What does that even mean? I asked. Mark looked down. He told me what to write at first. Then I started doing it on my own. I liked it. I liked you. He didn't care anymore, but then he found out you were writing back a lot. He got jealous. Started reading the letters again. That's when he made me stop. I was stunned. So both of you were lying? Mark didn't deny it. I was just supposed to help him prank you. But I didn't want to stop. I was falling for you. Now I had even more questions. Who sent the letter if not Mark or Jake? And how did they know this stuff? That week, I found out. Her name was Amber. She was in my AP literature class. Always quiet. Wrote incredible essays. Barely spoke to anyone. She stopped me after class one day and said, "I know what Jake did. I know what Mark did too." I froze. She handed me a notebook. "Page 22, she said. Then walked away. Page 22 was a photocopy of a note. Jake's handwriting. It was crude. Mocking. Dated back to 8th grade. It said, "Let's see how long it takes before she falls for it. Then, she's the perfect loser to try this on." I felt like I was going to throw up. Amber had been Jake's lab partner that year. She saw the whole thing unfold. Said she found the note in his binder and took a picture of it. "I've been waiting to see if you'd figure it out," she told me later. "I thought you deserved to know." That night I lost it. I tore up every letter. I screamed at the walls. At the sky. At myself. I had been a game. A joke. And I still didn't know what feelings were real and what were fake. My mom found me crying on the floor. I didn't even try to explain. There was no way to make it make sense, I don't know how, but Jake found out Amber gave me the notebook. And he went ballistic. He spread a rumor that Amber had faked the note. That she was jealous. That she was obsessed with him. Amber got pulled into the principal's office for causing drama. I tried to back her up. But she didn't want the fight. "Let him burn himself," she said. Then came the final twist I wasn't ready for. Mark called me late one night. His voice was shaky. "Jake found the letters," he said. "All of them. Mine. Yours. The ones you gave me back at the coffee shop." I sat straight up in bed. "What do you mean?" "I gave those to you. I left them in my room. I was at work. When I came home, they were gone." My chest tightened. Mark's voice broke. "He sent me a message tonight. He's going to post them online. All of them. Unless I tell everyone I made it all up." Jake gave Mark 48 hours. 48 hours to clear his name, or he'd post everything. Every letter. Every embarrassing thing I'd said. All my secrets. All of it. Mark called me the moment it happened. "I don't care what he does to me," Mark said. "But I'm not letting him hurt you." I felt like I couldn't breathe. This wasn't just drama anymore. This was war. And Jake was willing to take all of us down. It all came to a head at school. Friday. 6th period. The halls were buzzing. Jake had sent screenshots of some of the letters to a group chat. People were reading them, laughing, whispering. One letter had a line where I talked about my fear of not being good enough. Another where I admitted I'd never kissed anyone until Jake. I felt naked. Humiliated. I snapped. I walked straight to Jake's locker and slammed it shut just as he opened it. Everyone turned. "You think this is funny?" I said. My voice was shaking. Jake looked smug. You wanted honesty, right? Well, here it is. I pulled out the notebook Amber had given me. You want honesty? You picked me to mess with. You told Mark to catfish me. You took over his letters. You blackmailed him. You humiliated me. People started gathering. Phones out. Teachers peeking around corners. Tell everyone what you did, Jake, I said. Tell them how none of it was ever real. Jake's smirk faltered for the first time. You're just mad you got played, he muttered. I turned to the crowd. You all think I'm crazy? Go ask Amber. Go ask Mark. Hell, go ask anyone who's seen the letters. Jake scoffed. This is pathetic. And then Amber stepped out from behind the lockers. She's not lying, she said loudly. I saw the original notes. I saw what Jake wrote. He thought it was a joke. Jake turned red. What are you even doing here? Making sure you don't get away with this. Mark came next. He pushed through the crowd, breathing hard. He was shaking. You said I was a coward? Mark said. At least I didn't pretend to be someone else to get the girl. Jake lunged. But Mark stepped back just in time. A teacher grabbed Jake before he could do anything. Chaos exploded. Phones out. Kids shouting. Jake was dragged to the office, still yelling about how none of it mattered, how we were all losers. I didn't go back to class. Neither did Mark or Amber. We sat behind the school, in the cold, just staring. Amber lit a cigarette and offered me one. I didn't take it. Nobody talked. After a while, Amber said, well, that was hell. Mark just looked broken. Like all the life had been sucked out of him. I should have told you sooner, he said. I should have stopped it. I didn't have it in me to yell. But I didn't forgive him either. Not yet. By Monday, everyone knew the truth. Jake was suspended. He tried denying everything, but too many people had seen the notes, the letters, the screenshots. Amber even gave her copy to the principal. Mark's name was cleared, but it didn't really matter. The damage was done. People stopped whispering eventually. But I could still feel their eyes on me. Some girls apologized. Some teachers offered vague support. But mostly, people moved on. I didn't. A week later, Mark and I met one last time. We sat on a park bench near the river. Snow still clung to the grass. He handed me one last letter. This is the truth, he said. No games. No lies. Just me. I took it but didn't open it right away. I don't know if I can trust you again, I said. I get it, he replied. But I had to try. He left after that. No hug. No goodbye kiss. Just silence. I didn't read the letter for a long time. When I finally did, it was exactly what he promised. No excuses. No manipulation. Just honesty. Pain. Regret. He said he never thought anyone could really fall in love through letters. But he did. And then he said the one thing that finally broke me, if I could go back and be brave enough to tell you it was me from the start, I would. Jake never came back to school. Last I heard, he was sent to a disciplinary program in another district. Amber and I talk sometimes now. We're not exactly friends. But there's a weird respect there. Mark and I haven't spoken in months. Sometimes I still think about him. About the boy in the letters. About what could have been if it hadn't all started as a joke. I don't know if I'll ever fully forgive either of them. But I've started writing again. To myself this time. No more anonymous letters. No more secrets. Just me, learning how to tell the truth to the one person I always ignored, me. If there's anything I've learned, it's this: trust isn't built with words. It's built with time. with choices. And once it's broken, there's no easy way to glue it back together. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we're not supposed to go back. Maybe we just go forward, stronger, a little more guarded, but still standing. And right now, that's enough for me.